For the most part, I've enjoyed being a parent. Um, I'd say it's not an official word, but sandpapering.
Okay.
So,
All right, well, let's do that. What would be 3 words you use to describe your parenting experience?
3 words. Okay, sandpapering,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't a real word, but you
That's
can
fine.
get the visual. I'd say fun,
Okay.
and I'd say challenging as well. Like it pushes you.
Okay.
So those three: sandpapering, fun, and challenging. What would be your 3 words to describe parenting?
Uh, so fulfilling. I like sandpapering. I may
That's
have to
my
borrow that
word.
word. I don't know what's a different word for that then. Refining.
Okay, but it's the same meaning.
Yeah,
Okay.
refining is probably another way of putting it. And then thrilling. Yeah. I think there's a bit of a thrill to parenting in the sense of you don't always know, like, when stuff happens, it's like there's no way we could have seen that coming, kind of thing. Even with simple things, stuff the boys say. But then there's things like when children get sick or get hurt, or when something breaks, or when plans have to change, and
And you think
we
that's
end up.
thrilling?
Yeah. I like that my life is in that place where most things have to kind of be like penciled in. Like, yeah, I'd
Oh,
like to do that, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, even from the early days, you could say you plan to leave at a certain time, and then as soon as everybody's dressed and ready, diaper explosion, and that's
that's
it.
not thrilling.
No, but I mean, it's
That's
just kind of like,
challenging for me.
yeah. Well, I like that it fosters spontaneity.
Yeah, so that's where I would say fun. For sure,
Yeah,
you see the world in a different way.
yeah,
You're doing things with them, and just sitting at the beach would just be sitting at the beach. But now it's like, oh, look at the crab, and you
right.
realize how cool everything is,
Yeah.
or even coming up with things to do with them. It, it makes it, I would say, fun. That part, not the part where the diaper explodes when you're about to leave.
Yeah, the other thing I think about, or what surprised me, is really um, how easy it is to make a moment enjoyable. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you imagine you gotta spend a lot of money
Yeah.
and you have to do something really crazy, and then you bring home something from a $3 store, which is supposed to be a household item, and you tell the boys go crazy, you can have it as a toy, and they go well for months on this. Well, if it lasts months.
Or a cardboard box.
Or the box itself, yeah. And they go crazy over those
That's
things.
true.
So like that's also one of the things that makes it interesting, because then you start to think, okay, I don't need 4 weeks of vacation to have fun with my children. Um, I can decide, okay, I'm gonna start work, like, now that we're staying at home, I'm gonna start work at 9 o'clock, and it is 8:20 right now. Let me play a game of checkers.
And your 8-year-old beat you
And
in
yeah,
checkers.
we can scrap
That's
that from the
fun.
record.
But the sandpapering, because it doesn't, I don't think it changes who you are,
Yeah,
but I think it refines you. That was your word. I think
yeah,
it's a good word. So you have to. I think that's the blessing of children. Not. I think because they change you to be a better person, I think that is where the blessing is. So if you embrace those challenges, that's where you get the sandpaper, and you
what
become.
what do you mean by
So
become a better person?
I am more patient now.
Okay,
You just have to be. You don't have, I mean, you're going to either abuse the child,
right.
or you will learn ways
To love them.
to manage your own emotions,
Yeah,
and to, this is okay. And then it spills over into everything because you're practicing this patience,
yeah,
practicing your own self-control. Don't shout, breathe. Let me give this some time. Even something like I'm more adventurous now.
right.
I'm it, so what was there before that needed some help? The
Yeah,
Lord is using it to sanctify you, I guess.
yeah,
You need to be more patient, as the example before. And you don't realize it until you're faced with those kind of things. I think it's very similar to being married, where you have to live with somebody else, and the things that were there
hmm,
start to come up, and you realize, oh, I need to change this about myself. I think parenting does that as well.
yeah. I think there is a humility factor that comes into play where, uh, at least for me, even when I think I'm at my best, parenting is one space where I can see, nope, you're not that great. It's one space where I can see, you are pretty selfish
Yes,
sometimes, or
selfishness for sure.
you are a little bit too anxious about things and not really trusting God.
And you have no
Um,
control over so many things.
yeah.
It really does grow
So
your
so
trust.
the level of humility that shows up from it, and then, as you say, kind of like exposing those areas that you still need to be seeking God to help you to be perfected in. Uh, I think, like I agree with you in terms of changing you too, because, and that started from the time I married you, or from the time we got into a relationship. You guys are, all three of you are so touchy feely. Maybe Ezra to the lesser extent, but
We are.
that has not been a normal part of my interacting with people that I love,
Hmm.
and that's something that I've had to really learn, both to receive and then
And
also to communicate in that way to the people I love.
give me a kiss now.
You got something on your
No.
face? No, you okay? You good? Right. So yeah. So there's, yeah, the Lord is still working on us with regards to those things. Yeah.
I love it though.
No, yeah, for sure.
I don't regret doing it, jumping into it. I mean, we jumped into it early. I don't regret
Yeah.
any of it. Okay, we got married in April 2011,
Hmm.
and we had our first child in June the following year.
Hmm.
So a little bit of calculation will tell you we got pregnant really quickly. It didn't feel quick.
No, I felt like we had
I
time.
felt like we got married, moved to Barbados, settled into the house, and then we were like, "Oh, this is awesome. Let's have a baby." Like it was like, what exactly would we be waiting for? I mean,
Yeah.
I know we didn't have money, we didn't have a big house, those kind of things, but um it was a different type of decision. It was more like something else that we would be doing together.
Right.
It wasn't oh my, can we, do we have enough money for this thing? It didn't feel like that. It felt like
We didn't have enough money for anything.
that's true,
So
but it felt like we were sharing in something else.
yeah.
And I know you wanted to be a father, and it was just like, well, let's just see. And we got pregnant pretty easily,
Hmm.
and it was just, I think it also helped me to settle into Barbados because I didn't have any family here, and it unexpectedly to me kind of helped me to integrate into the family. It was
Right.
a little bit weird at first with, this is your grandchild, your nephew,
And the people
to,
you
to
don't
people that
really
I
know
don't
them very
know
well.
very
Yeah.
well. It's like,
Your child
it's
is
my
their,
child, how is it
belongs
your
to them
child?
too.
As
Yeah.
right, so I think it really helped with that because they were such a great support system. So
Yeah.
it really joined the families together, I think. And yeah, so my second child, Ezra, is
Our second child.
or second child is almost exactly 2 years, born 2 years after the first one.
Yeah.
So again, that wasn't a lot of time between them, but it
Right.
felt like Judah was born and he was such a wonderful child. It was a difficult early
Delivery.
stage, delivery, newborn stage.
Yeah.
That was really difficult, and it felt like after I got over that, I could just enjoy him, and he was such a wonderful child. He was helpful, he was obedient,
Yes.
and
Even at
it
6
was
months, he
like,
was helpful.
he really but it was like, let's have another one, let's do this again. And it was, yeah, we did. And again, we were probably in a worse financial position then. And those things, maybe we can talk about finances that separate time.
Separate thing. Yeah.
But those things did not factor into us wanting to have the child.
Oh, for
I
sure
think it
not.
was a separate decision.
Yeah.
And the Lord provided. He really did. So yeah, we had Ezra,
Hmm.
and he was wonderful. I think Ezra he feels more like a lastborn. He likes that kind of love.
Yeah.
Not in a touchy-feely way, but he's like, "Mommy, can you
The
come and
baby-
help me
he's
with this?"
like
Yeah,
the baby of the
that's
family,
that's
yeah.
he likes that. So I think it took me a little bit longer to say, "Let's have another one," but for sure I wanted another one.
Yeah.
So I think maybe 2 years had passed, and I realized nothing was happening. And that's when he was like, all right, I think you're supposed to go to the doctor at some point. Like, how long do you wait? What's my age? How long do you wait before you go get checked out? Because this isn't happening.
Right.
So yeah, so Ezra is almost 7. So let's call it a 5-year gap of infertility. And that was tough.
Yeah.
It was, I don't think, I mean, I knew people that had no children.
Right.
They were trying to get pregnant and it felt wrong to
Right.
want more children. I had 2.
Yeah.
So I didn't really say it a lot.
Yeah.
But month after, because it's a monthly thing where I am seeing evidence of I'm not pregnant.
Right.
Every month, I'm not pregnant. Let's try something else.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. Let's have sex more often. Let's not have sex so that we can build up sperm. Like, you know, we tried all the things that I could think of to try, and nothing worked. So yeah, that was tough. And
I think it was hard for me just because it just felt like a very helpless situation to be in. I didn't know if there was a problem in me, a problem in you. You did some tests. We never got to the point of me doing tests.
yeah, I think I felt after a while, you know what? I don't want to, if something is wrong,
Yeah.
I don't want to do hormonal treatments, and I didn't want to be too invasive, so I said let me stop with the tests.
Right.
And let's just accept what is happening.
Yeah.
I think that's where adoption came into my mind again, because I always wanted to adopt. It's something that I always wanted to do, but I didn't know when it would happen or how it would happen.
Right.
And since we had that
Yeah.
gap, it was like, oh, maybe God is directing us back to this.
Yeah.
So I went up to I remember the day I went up to the childcare board by myself.
Yeah.
Mario was doing other things, and I'm like, how much time are we gonna waste? You know, can I just go? And because he was genuinely busy. I think you were doing class, you were teaching, you were doing ISF. It was like you were really busy, and I was like, we're getting distracted. I want another child. Can I just go up and ask some questions? And you said, okay.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Exactly. I went up there, I got some answers. I went to a public forum on adoption, get some more questions answered, spoke to Granny who had fostered many children.
Yeah.
Learned from Vodi Bakum, learned from other Christians online.
Yeah, Russell Morris.
Even a good friend of mine here that has adopted, spoke to her. You know, just kind of getting that information. And I was like, this is such a wonderful thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That there are children that have no parents.
Yeah.
And that we want another child. We can help them.
Yeah.
Why we have other children that they can come and play with? Why wouldn't we do this? And so yeah, that just was it was such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a call from a friend that said she knew that I was thinking about adoption, and she heard about a lady that was about to give birth.
Right.
So I remember that we had no time to prepare. It was like she's giving birth now.
Yeah.
Would you take this baby? And I'm just like, Mario, I tried to call you.
I was Christmas shopping.
And I'm like, Mario,
I was trying to buy you a gift actually.
There's a baby, can we take it? But yeah, that was a quick decision of, all right, we've been wanting to do this. Mm-hmm. It would take years, according to what I've been finding out sometimes, to get through at the childcare board.
Yeah.
So there is a child available right now. Why wouldn't we do it? And we spoke to our church. We spoke to the elders and we told them what we were thinking.
Families.
We spoke to both of our families, and everybody was like, okay, let's do this.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, there were questions about finances.
Right. There's a genuine concern that if you
how are we gonna take on another child?
Yeah.
So those were genuine concerns. But we decided, let's do it. And long and short, we bought diapers. I put the crib up with the boys. We talked about it with the children. We prepared. We had clothes. I washed the clothes like it was about to happen.
Yeah.
And it fell through
right at the end, basically.
It just fell through.
Yeah.
I will say this, that, as I was mentioning before, the monthly check to see, am I pregnant? I'm not pregnant.
Right.
I remember when that happened that month, and I did not care.
Right.
I went to the bathroom and, oh, that's just normal
Yeah.
biology. That was the first time in years that it did not matter because I was getting a child.
Right.
This doesn't matter anymore. I can get a child. Who cares what my body wants to do? You know, that was it was a wonderful feeling to just I don't have to tell Mario, oh, it didn't work this time.
Yeah, I think that even in you saying that, I realized afterwards that there was grief to process.
Yeah.
I don't think it had really registered to us that way. Like, it was a decision that we made, you know, like to accept how the circumstance was playing itself out and be like, okay, well, this is not going to happen. And it felt like, yeah, we can adjust to this. Like, we never actually had the child that it was taken away from us.
I held the child.
Well, that's
I
true, you
did.
did. Yeah.
I got to hold the baby. Yeah, that was.
So yeah, then I realized that we were processing grief with regards to that for the few months after.
Yeah, and it was hard to give away because I mean, it's like I have these diapers. It don't make sense to keep it.
Yeah, we had a
I didn't
crib
give away
in
his
the house,
stuff.
in the room for a while.
The crib did not go down for a long
Yeah.
time. Telling the children they were not
were
happy
sad,
either.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So now, I think it was. I remembered when that baby would have been 1 year old exactly, his birthday, and we just found out that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is crazy.
Right? Yeah.
The timing of it was crazy. And it didn't have the same level of excitement. It was like, is this actually happening?
It was almost like a skeptical type of like,
okay.
I don't know if I should be excited about this yet.
So we kind of held back, and then we went to the doctor.
Yeah.
That was the first time I went to the doctor to check.
Right.
Before it's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Now it's like,
no, let a professional
go. Let's go see what's happening because here we are.
Yeah, it's been so long, right? That's kind of what it was like.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Didn't know that we could still do this.
Yeah. So I still think about adoption. You know,
Right.
what's funny? Another opportunity came up shortly after I found out I was pregnant as well, and I said I can't do it.
Right.
I didn't. I felt bad.
That you said no.
I felt bad that I couldn't help this child.
Right.
And I still think about that now. Like, after I have this child,
Will you?
when will that happen? It feels like a when.
Right.
Not a if, because I researched adoption so much, and I talked to me. It felt like such a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I can't do it right now.
Yeah.
It's so strange to feel bad about not being able to take care of another child because I have to take care of this child first.
Right.
It's a weird thing to feel, but I don't know, you know. And I start to think about things like, maybe I'm supposed to foster teenagers that are difficult to place instead of a baby. Maybe it will be when we retire. Maybe,
Right.
you know, maybe I'll go into missions when I retire. Maybe all my plans
Yeah.
are different to what God has planned. So
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that I would say that you've helped me with along these 10 years in terms of, there are often times where I don't want to be presumptuous in saying, you know, I would love this to be a part of my life, and let me try to make my life have this thing be a part of it. But you try your best to fit your dreams into your reality, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes maybe I'm afraid of the disappointment that comes from it not being the way that things are going to happen. But like you said, you know, we've come to see God just do things that match our dreams, but in His time and in His way. So yeah, you've helped me to believe in a lot of the things that I imagine would be great for my life. So when I see my family as it is now, when I know that we're about to add another to the family, it's like, just gotta believe that God is gonna do good things. And you can keep dreaming. It's not always gonna happen in your time and in your way, but it will definitely happen in His time and in His way.
and I think we only realize the good of it looking back.
For sure.
When you're in it, I have had times of, what's going on, God? Why would you look at Mario working so hard for you?
Yeah.
Like, You know, why wouldn't we have XYZ thing? You know, you think those kind of sinful thoughts, it is sinful to presume that God has to do XYZ thing because I am doing,
Right.
you know, and it's good to dig through that and to come back out to who Jesus actually is and who we are and how he's using us and our rightful place in the story. We
Yeah.
are not God. We do not
Yeah.
we do not give him instructions.
For sure.
And it's a good thing to learn that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the difficult times are for you
Yeah.
to learn.
Our lives are
truth.
threads in a much grander tapestry. Our whole life together is probably still just one string in the grand picture that he's making. So, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter, because he is a masterful designer. So every thread obviously matters, but the significance of it is probably most greatly seen in the grand design, not in the little moments of our lives. We got to trust that he's good. We've seen him prove his goodness.
He is.
And yeah, just enjoy the beauty of all that he has given to us.
I think our time is up.
Yes.